Hi, my name is Jasmine Pierce, and this is my oral presentation about my reflections on my time at Careers Kitchen. Careers Kitchen is a program that the larger organisation Welcome to Australia has developed, which primarily focuses on helping refugees and people seeking asylum gain access and opportunities for employment and education. It works out of the Asylum Seekers Hub every Tuesday afternoon at Riverview Church in Burswood. The Asylum Seeker Hub is a place where multiple organisations work together, including Mercy Care, CARAD, which is the Centre for Asylum Seekers, Refugees and Detainees, Assets, and Red Cross, in the same physical location for an afternoon so that all of the clients can access services easier. People don't fall through the cracks, get left behind. People can be referred into organisationally really easily. And people can also just come in the afternoon and see if anyone has the time to speak to them, which usually there's quite a lot of volunteers, so usually someone can see them. My role at Careers Kitchen is I get referred clients, or clients come in and work with me towards getting jobs. So what I do is I identify their specific needs through conversation, and then we do an intake form which we write about things like their education and their experience working in and out of Australia. And then I talk to them a lot about what kind of jobs that they'd like to do, try and identify some key skills that they might not feel that they have. So if they're good at communicating, if they're always on time, like some mothers who have never worked before and have come to Australia feel like they don't have any skills or anything to contribute to the workplace. So then I'm like, well, you're very organised, you're very polite, things like that you can build a resume on that aren't necessarily aspects about themselves that they might feel. I also do mock interviews with people too, so any kind of preparation for a future interview that they may or might not have. So just general interviews regarding how to answer questions, and also if they have a specific interview that they have, say next week or something, we can go through, do some research on the organisation or the company and direct some very specific questions at them and help them work through those sort of scenarios. So the volunteer position, I feel like it's more of a job because even though I don't get paid, I feel very responsible and I really enjoy going there, and it's a lot like having a job. It has something that I found is that it has very few boundaries because of the nature of the people that we work with. So a lot of these people are experiencing stress and having emotional reactions to that because of the way of, I guess, like the nature of when you need work, you can feel very desperate and you can feel very alone, very isolated. You can have mental health problems, things like that. And so because within the hub, there's so many different things going on all at once, we sort of cover everything. The program is also very open for different types of people. So as we're volunteers and we don't have any mandates, we don't have any requirements really, we don't have any funding, we can really work towards seeing as many different people that need help as possible. Whereas a lot of the other organisations, they had limitations in either their capacity to intake more people or people on different visas that couldn't fit into what they were required to work, the requirements for them to get access to services. And so a lot of people that maybe had been here for 10 years in Australia but were still having problems, like had maybe lost a job or wanted to become more educated or go to school or something, we could help them because we were very open to do whatever we want, really. Something that I really noticed was that there's a huge emphasis on empowerment with these people. So in assisting someone to gain employment and education, it means empowering them, that they are the resource. We need to use everything that they have to get them, to help them get a job. And in that, communication is key. So a lot of it is just sitting back and listening to people, and then engaging with the things that they say. So using the Buber's philosophy of dialogue, like the first movement, obviously presenting yourself and saying, my name's Jasmine and I'm a volunteer with Careers Kitchen. I'd like to, you've come here you've told such and such in your referral that you would like to get a job. How can we help you do that? And then they respond in their second movement to the questions that I've asked them. And then the third movement, we really engage and work together about what we can do. Particular incidents and reflections on my time at Careers Kitchen. A huge thing was that some people would come in and think, this is a place where people search for jobs for me and get me a job, like I'm going in here and then I will receive a job, which isn't the case. So it was really difficult in some cases because there weren't super clear expectations about what our roles were particularly. And so we had to do a lot of clarification with people that we would just work with them to help them find a job instead of just going and doing it for them. What I've decided to describe as the counselling effect is the way that when you need a job or you don't have any income, you need money to live, and so you can feel very distressed when you have, say, lost your job, been cut off Centrelink, you're a refugee, you don't know a lot about Australian work culture or education or what's available to you. So you come in and you can be very stressed, and a lot of the time we're counselling people through those feelings because you can't just be like, well, we'll get you a job if someone's crying and talking about how they've just left their partner because of violence or something like that. You need to sort of sit and listen to their often really complex and long-lasting personal problems and be really reflexive about that and about how you can utilise what's around you to help them the best. And that's how the hub works at its best, I guess, is sort of acknowledging how complex and multifaceted community development is. Overall, some of the biggest things that I learnt was my favourite thing is this Persian cultural activity called tarof, which is where you have to ask somebody something 3 times before they can accept it. It's a form of politeness. So if you're a host at the hub, if somebody comes, you need to offer them, well, obviously you offer them to try and comfort them. Would you like a cup of tea? Would you like some water? Would you like a coffee? If you just ask, would you like a cup of tea, they'll say no. But if you ask them 3 times, which is the tradition of the cultural activity that tarof is, they'll say yes. So you have to come up with creative ways by asking them if they'd like something more than once, which I found really interesting. I'd never heard of it before. Another thing, back to community development theoretical stuff, the importance of community was really big in what I've been learning because I'm still there. It's all about connecting the private realm to the public realm. Everybody works together and talks together about what's going on. At the moment, I'm running a employment networking email chain, so we're constantly talking to each other and sending links and organising things and attending different meetings about different aspects within refugee and asylum-seeking community work, I suppose. It's about going out and talking to people, workers, like potential people that might need help, getting to know other people, just finding connections between the community of who does what and what is available out there for other people. And that's how you can really help people to find community the best, because you're accessing all this stuff constantly and it's just in your head all the time. So if somebody comes into the hub and they say, well, I really need this, and you can think, well, in South Perth, there's a group that can help you with that, and I spoke to such and such about it yesterday in an email or something. It's like really easy to find more resources. Communication is really important. It ensures that through the listening thing that I was describing earlier, that people can really find that they get looked after and they don't fall through the cracks, because we're constantly listening and trying to find resources and help for them with different things. Listening and understanding is something, because there's such a, I guess, like a meta-narrative surrounding refugees and asylum seekers in Australia. Sometimes you can come into the work with an idea already of, oh, I've seen these 5 different people and this is the common problem that they've had. So then when the next person comes, you need to be really reflexive and not have any preconceived ideas about any of the problems that they might be going through. You need to be able to listen and attend to what they're actually saying instead of making assumptions. So yeah, it's been really difficult, but it's been really good and really rewarding, and I think that I'll probably keep volunteering there for quite a long time. Thanks for listening to my presentation.